My time spent hanging out in the modern world of catfish farming was fascinating and educating. One thing I learned here in Alabama is that these catfish are not bottom feeders like people think, and that's because their nutritious feed floats. Townsend Kaiser is president of the Catfish Farmers of America.
What is the biggest misconception consumers have about catfish?
One of the largest conceptions we've been battling my whole life is that catfish are bottom-dwelling, bottom-feeding fish. We actually train them from birth to eat floating pellets on top of the water, and so they're getting a great diet of corn and soybeans.
So they're not just getting up all of the bottom stuff, kind of like I envision when I think of catfish.
No, that is our biggest misconception. I'm glad that you're taking some time to learn a bit about catfish and share that with the rest of the country.
Out here on Peter's farm, some of the leading research in the industry is conducted. Dr. Luke Roy is an extension specialist with Auburn University.
So out here in West Alabama with the commercial industry, what we do is we kind of take what's done at the university in aquariums and tanks and smaller ponds, and we kind of translate it out here to the big ponds to see if that actually translates to the real world. Because sometimes when you're doing science in aquariums, you don't necessarily get the same results as you do like in a pond. So our goal is to basically take technology that's developed at the University at Auburn and bring it out to the commercial farm and test it. And sometimes we get good results and sometimes we don't, but we always try to support the industry.
So Peter, as I just keep walking around this absolutely gorgeous farm, I just keep thinking this is a massive undertaking for a private farmer.
Thank you for saying that, Madison. We take pride in this place. It is our home. But one of the things that as a private farmer that is particularly helpful to me is that the company that we use to buy our feed and that we buy our feed from and harvest our fish is a co-op. I just like to send a big kudos out to Southfresh, the co-op that we use that has really purposefully decided not to get into the pond and growing business and is continuing to support the little guy like me.
I've also noticed there are these very large paddles in the ponds. What in the world are those?
Cut them on for you at some point. So the oxygen goes down at night because photosynthesis stops, the sun goes down, the algae no longer is producing oxygen. And so we have supplemental oxygen, and it comes with these electric paddle wheels. And so we have a buoy that sits out in the water, and the buoy senses what the oxygen is. It sends the oxygen reading to my computer. My computer's got set points on it, so at certain points, paddle wheels will kick on. Parts of the pond start getting low, the fish will actually just come to those paddles and kind of hang out there. It's kind of like a snorkel for them.
Oh my gosh,
So,
a little oxygen bar.
It's a long way from the old days, he says, when one person was responsible for patrolling the ponds all night and checking the oxygen levels by hand readings. My next visit was to the sprawling piece of land that belongs to Danny Miller, Alabama's current Catfish Farmer of the Year. He also says the innovations and new technology contribute to his successful farming.
So can you tell me a little bit about that marshmallow looking thing out in the distance?
That's our chiller system. So we chill that water down to 45 degrees in that tank, and it's insulated, and it's set up to load on a truck before he goes to the pond. And then he heads to the plant. He sits there, and at 7 in the morning they unload him, and the fish will all be survived. They all survive, so it makes a difference. It's interesting. You can put fish from warm water into cold water and they won't kill them. But if you put them from cold water into warm water, they'll die. Again, our goal is to provide our consumers with the safest, healthiest, freshest fish we can do.
Proud and humble words coming from a man who, along with his dad and family, started with just one pond decades ago.
Every year we just kept adding till we covered up my dad's farm where he lives, and we moved down here. It was a process of probably 10 years. We covered both farms, and it's been good life, been good to us. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things to learn, a lot of learning hard lessons, but it's been enjoyable. We're making a living out here in the country, and we're raising food. It's rewarding. to do that, raise food.
Hard work and state-of-the-art technology is a theme throughout the whole process. From the thousands of pounds of catfish that are loaded into the live trucks, all the way through the processing where the fish are brought, boxed, and distributed all over the country.